Have you ever felt like life was moving too fast? Like you need a moment to slow down and catch your breath? Because adulthood just keeps demanding and demanding and demanding. Do you ever think of your childhood? You know, days when you found joy in the mundane things, laughed at the most silly things, and lived life without thinking about the repercussions of your actions. Well, that is what we'll be doing today on this episode of the 20-somethings show. Episode of the 20-something show here on Relufe TV. I'm your host, R to the E to the right-ring baby, and on the 20-something show we discuss about issues pertaining to people in their 20s, quarter life issues, and generally we talk about relatable stuff and give tips on how to navigate life as a 20-something year old, particularly in Nigeria. And if you've been watching all episodes so far, thank you so much for sticking with us. Today promises to be nothing short of fun as we intend to take you back, down memory lane. I'll remind you of some of those things that you probably did when you were a child and you didn't think it was a big deal. We're going to spark nostalgia and just laugh and distract you from adulting for a bit, because you're actually going to go back and face your life. So this is like, reality escape for you. I don't mention, we don't do that here, okay? All right, so to start, I'm going to tell you a story. One of the silly things that I used to do during my childhood, and after that I'm going to read some other responses as well. So first of all, a lot of things stood out for me during my childhood, but there was this particular one with my siblings. So we would usually sit together at the dining table and would have teacups, and in our teacups, guess what we had? Ice block. So we'd put ice block in our teacups and just start, would crack it, of course, scatter it and just pour it inside and just start putting it in our mouths and behave like we're in one high-profile meeting, having actual serious conversations and just... It was so fun. I tell you, it was so fun. You probably should try it, all right? Forget about how cringy it might sound right now because you're grown and it probably doesn't make any sense to you, but maybe try it and see. It was really fun, pretend like, for a lot of us, we hope to actually get into some of those rooms someday. So this might be just one of the best ways to prepare yourself. You never can tell. So yes, that is one very interesting thing that I did during my childhood that still stands out to me even to this day. So next, I'm going to be reading some responses from other people. This one says, being jobless and always eating, even housework, I know they do. Like, as a child, you can be jobless and get away with it. And I think that's just one of the most beautiful things about childhood. Like, you're not thinking about paying any bills. Trust me, this particular kind of response was more rampant in all of the responses because everybody just misses when they didn't have to worry about paying bills and all of that. And it just speaks to the fact that, our parents were actual superheroes. Because trust me, for some of us, we make much more money now than our parents were making back then. And I get it, the economy is in shambles, and so the value of what they had back then is definitely much more than what we have now. But then we're hardly able to even fend for ourselves, not to talk of fending for children. And our parents, with the little they had, they were able to train 5-6 children through school, even down to university. And I mean, kudos to our parents. So yeah, this person is saying he misses when he was a child and he didn't have to worry about bills or house chores because he was the last born. And I mean, I didn't have that luxury. I was not the last born. I had two people younger than me, and I did chores, okay? I remember using this rubber attachment to drink Fanta because I don't want it to finish before my other sibling. How do I explain it now? There's this, I think they call it belebe. It's a rubber thread. They used to make thread our hair back then. So if you observed it very well, it was a bit thick and it had a hole inside of it, right? So even I am guilty of this. That is why I can't explain it. So we'd put it inside our drink and be sipping. It was an effort in futility because it barely even worked. You could hardly even get a sip per minute from that stuff. But yeah, we're just doing it because we didn't want our drinks to finish on time. And thinking about it, it was quite silly. It was actually very silly. But yeah, that's one of the advantages of being a child. You get to be silly and get away with it because who's going to punish you for that? This one says, football in the rain. Yes, I played football a bit when I was a child, right? Yeah, I did. Many people might not believe it, but who cares if you believe me or not? But yes, and I know there's just something about being in the rain. I don't know why our parents always try to chase us out of the rain, because they know that if we fall sick, now them go pay for the treatment and everything and all. But we didn't have to bother about any of that. We just wanted the experience of being in the rain. I mean, it was such a beautiful thing. My siblings and I, we used to swim on top of our well in front of the house, do a lot of stuff in the, oh God, I think I should do that again someday. Yes, y'all watch out, check out for my Instagram. I will do it and I'll post it. All right, I'll post it and you will come and see. I will bathe in the rain and I'll film myself because I miss it so much. Okay, this one said, I remember when we used to do daddy and mommy, then we would do fake rice and stew with sand. See, if you did not do this one, you missed. I am telling you, I'm sorry. If you did not do this thing, you missed. We would gather small pieces of wood, would light a fire with it. They would use derrica, empty derrica, put white sand. So white sand would signify rice, then red sand would be stew. And then we would actually serve, like we would have children and we would serve them this food, and everybody would eat it and it would be so fun. Why did we grow up? Why? I want to do this again. It was like the peak, the highlight of my childhood. One of the highlights of my childhood because, I miss it. Okay, this one says, the night story time where everyone gathers under the moon while sitting on a mat listening to hello. I don't know what this is, but I understand what the person is talking about. So for us, my mom used to gather us together and she would tell us Bible stories. That's how I got to know most of the things I know about the Bible, because my mom would tell us these stories. She is such a beautiful storyteller. So she would tell us all the stories and she would make us tell her what we learned from it. And it was just so beautiful. I think I should do that the next time that I go home. I'll gather everybody. I'll say, Mommy, come and tell us a story again, because we're still your children, whether you like it or not. This one says, going to my grandma's place for the holidays, spending time with my cousins was always the best. This is also one thing that I enjoyed so much because a large number of my extended family were living around the same locality, so we would always get to spend time together when we go to my grandparents' place, or even during the holidays. A lot of my cousins would come over to spend time at our house, and we used to be very carefree, unassuming and just innocent. We played together, we did everything together. But now look, like two of them now have gotten married. One has even had a child. I'm like, No, is it ever that serious? Like, which day were we playing in the rain together here? You people already having children. You people already getting married. God, I beg. I feel like time is just going. Okay. This one says, my favorite childhood memory is not ever having to think about protein. Gosh, Eating protein these days. On the very first episode of this show, when I spoke about adulthood versus reality, I mentioned that one of the reasons I could not wait to grow up was because I wanted to be eating tutu meat. Right? Well, ask me now, how many are they chop? You guys, the prices of protein in the market are insane. Sometimes I wonder, even eggs are being sold at 250, 300 naira. And sometimes that's supposed to be like the cheapest source of protein, like whole protein that you can just give to one person and say, take, this is yours and all that. And so I'm wondering, what are children eating these days? Those things that we used to just buy and enjoy and just splurge on them and all. You can't even find, aside from protein now, you can't even find biscuits of 10, 20 naira anymore. Everything is just like from 100 naira and above. And I'm like, which way, Ninja? Which way? Oh, gosh, it's crazy. Things are so expensive, please. This one says, getting free money from visitors. I don't know if this is still a tradition, but then when we were young, we had some uncles that would come and visit and they will not drop money. And we'll be like, those are the kind of uncles that want to use advice to wound you. Be a good girl, oh, read your book, oh, don't follow boys, oh, your uncle drop money now, show work, like drop money for me, that kind of thing. But now, look at us. We're the new batches of uncles and aunties. Hello. Oh my God, life comes at you really fast. And then you find out that you have become everything that you used to criticize. So now, when you visit your younger siblings, you're expected to drop money too. How's that going for you on your end? This next one says, smoking papers. Guilty. Yes. I did like one or two times. I coughed I coughed waiting no good. Like, the thing nearly take my life. When they say curiosity kills the cat, what is it about smoking that is so exciting that I want to try it out? I think I wanted to just know what the craze was about, because everybody's buying, go buy me cigar, go buy Benson for me, and they're smoking, and I'm wondering, is there something that is exciting you about smoking? So, we wanted to research and find out for ourselves. So we took paper, we light the tint, man. I could not make it past that first blunt. I nearly saw my maker. And since that day, I said, no, I'm not doing that again. All right, this one says going to amusement parks. Yeah, I did that too with my dad made it a tradition to take us out every Christmas, even down to last year. And I know he's also going to do it this year. He doesn't care how grown we are. There was a time I was like, Daddy, we're grown up already now. You cannot still be taking us out. We want to go out on our own. And the man was like, no problem. If you say that you're grown up, I'll just take my wife, and anybody that wants to go with me can go with me. The rest of you can go and do what you want to do. I followed him. I followed him like, involve me. This one is an OG, and I'm sure that you are watching this thing now, you can relate to this one. Sleeping in the chair and waking up on the bed. It happened to me too. So like you sleep up on the chair and you're waking up in the morning, you're waking up on the bed, and it's just crazy how we don't remember any of the events that lead to that. There was one time I remember waking up with a swollen head, and I was wondering, what happened? How come? It was my mommy that was now telling me that when she was carrying me from the chair, I, in my sleepiness, hit my head on the wall. And so I was waking up with an extra head. Oh my God. So I'm telling you now that it was not an evil spirit that took you to the bed. It was not that you just teleported to your bed. It was somebody in your house, your family member, your mom or your siblings that carried you to go and dump you on the bed. Okay? This one said, Children's Day, my mama go don't buy things for me, but now I never even chop. Adulthood no be anybody made to. Adulthood. So if you see that hunger is imminent, I don't even know how to complete that advice, but sorry. This one says, Papa Ajasco. You know, we can definitely not talk about childhood memories without talking about some of those shows that made our childhood. Papa Jasco, Super Story, This Life, Fuji House of Commotion, Binta and Friends, you know. I'm talking about like Nigerian shows now. Which other ones? Dear Mother. Oh, I loved Dear Mother. There were a lot or more. You know, like it felt like things were more structured then, so you could know what time of the week, what day of the week to expect. And it was just so beautiful the way everybody would program their week in a way that would afford them the time to watch it. And I think that's something that we do not have anymore, right? We don't exactly have that anymore. That kind of structure. We should bring that back, really. We should bring that back. I think so. I don't know what you think. This one says, when the teacher hit me and I fake fainted, I spent the whole day in the sick bay seeing how worried she was. I even added fake shivering. That was the last time she hit me. You know, I'm sorry, but I love people who were able to be this cunning, even as children. Like, this was such a brilliant way to save yourself. And I wasn't that person that cooked up this kind of scenarios to avoid being beaten, of course, but I had classmates who did, you know, and I can just imagine how the teacher felt, because you know some of these teachers, they behave like they are God. And it was only until after maybe I'd graduated and had some more exposure that I got to understand that even some of these teachers were they had only just written WAEC. So they were awaiting admission and they took teaching as a placeholder for the meantime. And then you are being so mean and brutal and so pompous. I mean, I knew how to take care of myself back then. I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say that no teacher was able to mess with me and get away with it. Okay, well, that's as far as I'm going to say. Leading the packs to hunt lizards. Oh, gee. If you never had any pack and, you know, that you used to go on adventures or hunts and all those things with, what were you doing with your childhood? Like, these are some of the things that made our childhood fun, especially after we had watched, you know, adventure movies and we want to practice it in real time. Then you see, that's where some people even started building their leadership skills. You might not deep it, but if you do, you'll find out that some of the skills that we picked up from these seemingly very irrelevant things are quite helpful in our today lives, you know. But that's just what it is. So yes, if you have watched it up to this point, say thank you, because we just took you down memory lane. And I'm sure that the same way I've been smiling and laughing here is definitely the same way you have been laughing, because you remember some of these things that you did and even more things that you did that probably did not make it into this video. So yes, say thank you in the comments. That's one. And if you have other memories that you would love to share, please feel free, all right, so that we can laugh together over it and just have a good time, because bro, adulthood is choking. Let this be your perfect reality escape. Anytime you want to escape reality, just come here and binge watch some of our videos, and trust me, for those few minutes, life is good again. You know, you need that. Trust me, you need that. So thank you for watching. I remain R to the E to the vitamin baby, and this is still the 20-somethings show on Relufe TV. Stay tuned for more. Do not